Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to explore the extraordinary life and enduring legacy of Eleanor Roosevelt, often referred to as the First Lady of the World. This title, attributed to President Harry S. Truman, perfectly encapsulates her global impact. Her life was a testament to courage, an unwavering commitment to human rights, and the profound power of the individual voice to ignite change. Eleanor Roosevelt truly redefined the role of the First Lady, yet her influence stretched far beyond the confines of the White House. She transformed from an orphaned child, who famously felt starved for recognition and love, into the principal architect of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Her entire life echoed her profound philosophy: you must do the thing you think you cannot do. She was a powerful political activist, instrumental in shaping the New Deal. She championed civil rights, famously challenging segregation in what became known as the Birmingham Defiance. And, as a diplomat, she chaired the UN Human Rights Commission, leaving an indelible mark on international law. Eleanor's early years were marked by significant hardship, yet she ultimately defied what she called the ugly duckling myth. Orphaned by the age of 10 in 1894, she was raised by a critical grandmother whose influence deeply impacted her self-esteem. However, a pivotal awakening occurred between 1899 and 1902 at the Allenswood Academy in London. There, headmistress Marie Souvester recognized her superior intellect and budding leadership potential, nurturing her confidence. Upon her return in 1903, Eleanor immediately engaged in social work, joining the Settlement House movement and teaching immigrant children on Rivington Street in New York's Lower East Side, beginning her lifelong commitment to social justice. Her marriage in 1905 saw Eleanor adopt the conventional role of a society matron, but a profound transformation began in 1921 when Franklin D. Roosevelt was tragically stricken with polio. To keep his political aspirations alive, Eleanor became his eyes, ears, and legs. This challenge sparked her own political evolution. She immersed herself in activism, joining the Women's Trade Union League and the Democratic Party, evolving from a supportive wife into a formidable political operator. She often stated, "You gain strength, courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." As First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt carved out an unprecedented public role. She was the first First Lady to hold regular press conferences, and famously mandated women reporters only, effectively forcing news outlets to hire female staff. Her syndicated column, My Day, ran 6 days a week from 1935 to 1962, providing a direct, unfiltered channel to the American public. And as the traveler, she refused to be a mere symbol of elegance. She traveled extensively across the country, inspecting living conditions firsthand and reporting back to the president, ensuring that the White House remained connected to the realities faced by everyday Americans. Eleanor Roosevelt truly became the conscience of the New Deal, driving several key initiatives. She championed the establishment of she camps, campaigning for places like Camp Jane Addams to employ jobless women, paralleling the male-only Civilian Conservation Corps. She was also a driving force behind Arthurdale, a subsistence homestead project designed to uplift impoverished West Virginia miners. Her labor advocacy was profound, pushing for the appointment of Frances Perkins as the very first female cabinet member. As she declared in 1933, "It is up to the women." Eleanor famously defied Jim Crow laws through courageous acts. In 1938, at the Southern Conference for Human Welfare in Birmingham, Alabama, police attempted to enforce segregated seating. In a powerful act of defiance, Eleanor placed her folding chair squarely in the aisle, between the white and black sections, visibly bridging the divide. The following year, in 1939, she resigned from the Daughters of the American Revolution after they barred Marian Anderson, an African-American opera singer, from performing. Eleanor then helped arrange Anderson's historic concert at the Lincoln Memorial. Beyond these symbolic acts, she actively lobbied for anti-lynching laws and for the inclusion of African Americans in New Deal programs, pushing for fundamental policy changes. During wartime, Eleanor embodied the concept of freedom from fear. She served as Assistant Director of Civilian Defense and made personal visits to troops in England and the South Pacific, insisting on visiting the wounded in hospitals herself. This wasn't just about morale, it was rooted in a profound philosophy. She powerfully argued that the United States could not genuinely fight fascism abroad while simultaneously practicing racism at home, stating, "We must wipe out any feeling of intolerance." For her, the fight for democracy was inextricably linked to the fight for equality at home. Then came April 1945, and with FDR's death, Eleanor believed her public life was over, famously saying, "The story is over." But it was not. President Truman, recognizing her unique capabilities, appointed her to the first UN General Assembly. Male diplomats, perhaps underestimating her, assigned her to Committee 3, focusing on humanitarian concerns, intending to sideline her. Instead, Eleanor transformed this role into the platform for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In 1946, her appointment as a UN delegate marked the beginning of an entirely new, incredibly impactful chapter. Eleanor Roosevelt then took on the monumental challenge of drafting what would become the International Magna Carta. The challenge was immense, reconciling the Soviet bloc, Western democracies, and diverse cultural philosophies into a single, cohesive document amidst intense Cold War tensions. Her strategy was brilliant. While she wasn't a lawyer, she skillfully relied on legal experts for the precise text, while she, as the politician, managed the complex negotiations, bringing the crucial, human, element to the concept of human rights. The work was grueling, involving 85 meetings, endless nights, and the collaboration of an 18-member commission, all under her steadfast guidance. Eleanor Roosevelt's leadership style was aptly described as the velvet hammer. She masterfully employed personal diplomacy, often inviting adversaries to tea to break down formal barriers and foster understanding. Her patience and stamina were legendary. She was known as a slave driver, wearing down objections through late hours and sheer persistence. Crucially, she was an expert listener, mastering the art of letting opponents speak fully before finding the common ground and forging a compromise. As Adlai Stevenson profoundly observed, she would rather light a candle than curse the darkness. On December 10, 1948, the world witnessed a historic moment. The General Assembly in Paris officially adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor. 48 nations voted for, with 0 against, and only 8 abstentions, largely from the Soviet bloc, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa. As the results were announced, delegates gave Mrs. Roosevelt a spontaneous and thunderous standing ovation, recognizing her as the undeniable driving force behind this landmark achievement. Even in her later years, Eleanor Roosevelt continued her tireless work, embracing the philosophy that tomorrow is now. Throughout the 1950s, she actively worked with the NAACP and led nonviolent protest workshops, remaining a steadfast advocate for civil rights. In 1961, President Kennedy appointed her to chair the President's Commission on the Status of Women, further cementing her commitment to gender equality. She was also a proud labor unionist, a member of the Newspaper Guild, and vehemently fought against right-to-work laws. She truly believed that, when you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. Eleanor Roosevelt left us with many timeless words to live by. She famously taught that, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent," empowering individuals to own their self-worth. She believed, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams," inspiring us to aspire and achieve. Her pragmatic advice was to do one thing every day that scares you, encouraging personal growth and courage. And in a quote that perfectly captures her resilience and strength, she once said, "A woman is like a tea bag, you never know how strong it is until it's in hot water." Eleanor Roosevelt's profound legacy reminds us of a fundamental truth: where do human rights begin? As she articulated in 1958, they begin in small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. She emphasized that unless these rights have meaning there in the factory, the farm, the office, the school, they have little meaning anywhere else. It is, therefore, the responsibility of each and every citizen to understand, uphold, and champion these rights in their own communities.